Hi everyone, welcome to Hi Videocast. We are back at it again. We are back with another UX talk, I may say. Today we have our beautiful Natali with us. It's it's her third appearance here at the Hi Videocast, and today we also have a really special guest. We have Filipe. Filipe is a user experience design lead at Talkdesk. He's been working on UX. For like 20 years now, and he's here with us to give us a perspective of UX design on business. So, hi everyone, how are you?
Hello, good
Hello.
morning.
Okay, are you ready to kick this video cast on? Because I have some insightful questions that I want you to answer and to present the ones at home with this conversation. Uh, yeah.
Well, for me, from my side, I'm really happy because I have been learning a lot with Filipe, so I'm really happy to have him.
Okay, and I hope I learned with Filipe too on this video cast. So, and for the ones at home, before we start with the questions, uh, can you give us a thumbs up? And comment on our YouTube comment section, because will be more than pleasant to answer all of your questions throughout this video. And if you have any questions, me, Philippe, or even Natali will be more than pleasant to answer all of your questions as soon as we can. So let's start. Let's start by presenting Philippe, because Natali she's more than known here on the videocast scene, and I want to hear more about you, Philippe. Can you give us a brief presentation about you?
Yes, I can, and I can start since the beginning. Uh, when I finished my degree in communication design in a southern city in Alentejo, in the south of Portugal, um, I felt I didn't knew anything. Uh, But life, it is what it is, and life is a journey of continuous learning. And I went to work to Matosinhos, Porto, uh,
Oh,
Wow.
and I did what I learned to make logos, to make billboards, to make magazines, to make the how do you say in English, planta do Coliseu.
Um,
Um, I don't know the name in English. From an architectural point of view, is to design all the floors using a pen from a company called Rotring, and that was very enjoyable for me. But making logos and that at the time that the design profession was not very established, uh, it was not a thing for me. You know, everybody was designing logos. Even every mayor that had installed the Corel Draw in their computer, they were designing logos. So everybody designing a logo, but the designer not much. So I thought I thought that I think this is not the beach for me, and it was nothing resembled to my inner needs. And there was a professor at the time in Porto Alegre that started to talk about the web, and the web is going to change everything. And it was like a kind of, this is awkward. It makes sense at the time. It was in 96, I think, 96,
oh,
97.
it was
And
when I was born. So it
okay.
was a long time ago.
But at the time it was very interesting because it was very awkward for me also, because I didn't understand the thing, what was arriving into the world. We only had one computer for the entire school. We were more than 2,000 students, and the computer was always full. You know, one computer for 2,000 students, and I had to figure out a way to get access to a computer. So I started to find, where can I have in a public space, in the very small town in the south of Portugal a computer to understand what is this called thing internet. And I find one in the Fundação da Juventude. How is the name in English? I cannot know.
Youth
The
Foundation or something.
Youth Foundation, whatever. And it was cool because the computer was always without anyone. It was a school for young people, but there was never young people there. So I went there, and it was really cool. I spent a lot of days there, and then my father helped me to buy a computer also, but we didn't have internet. So whenever I had some free time, I went there, and it was really interesting because it sparkled my attention to this new world that will be arriving. And then in Matosinhos, I was really tired of making things that somehow the rationale was not. It was strange, sometimes I saw the explanation for a logo, and it seems like a poetry. Or sometimes it doesn't even make sense, the explanation versus the logo that we were seeing. And it was strange because what are we fixing in the world making the logo, isn't it? What are the problems that we are fixing to humankind or to real people making a beautiful logo?
And usually we never know the impact of what we did, what happens after we finish the thing, right?
Yes, and in somehow after that part, I really started to change my life, and then I finished that small experience in Matosinhos in a small consulting agency to design and communication, and I went to work to a German guy. And it was really interesting. That German guy was a kind of an architect, interior design, that was making the stores for Lightning Bolt, for Companhia das Sandes, for in that time Michel Cap, and other bars in Lisbon, Docas and Havai and so on. Yeah. So he was responsible to make those design interiors, and me and another design colleague, we were responsible to make all the communication design around those things, the menu, the logo, or the
packaging.
Sorry,
the packaging, probably.
Packaging, yes. So and at the time, some customers starting to ask, and a website, do you make websites? and we didn't make it make websites. This was in '99, and that was a good question in order to find out what does it mean to make a website. And I started to. They had a computer. We had to make a special request in order to use that computer because it was the only one in somehow with access to the internet. And it was very interesting because during my research, during my Google, not Google at the time. I think I was not using Google. I was using Alta Vista and other things. I discovered the site of Jacob Nielsen, the one of the gurus in UX field, and after reading some couple of his articles, it was like a kind of, I discovered a new religion. It's a kind of a big revelation in my life that all the questions that I had in order to, why are we doing stupid things, or why are we doing things that it doesn't have any sense? And reading those articles from Jacob Nielsen, it was very interesting because all those stupid things we understood, all those wrong decisions about business or about specific features that doesn't make any sense. Reading those articles and the process around user-centered design, it really helped me to figure out the reasons about why we were making software that fails, or why we were making, even in the entire world, things that doesn't make any sense and that provoke pains to the users and to the entire system. And that was really groundbreaking for me, and it opened a new horizon, Okay. And then I received an invitation to go to Coimbra. At the time, it was called the Centro de Computação Gráfica. And it was really a big state of the art of technology in Portugal, because they were building, for example, the virtual scenario for the Expo 98, the international exposition, with a little bit of artificial intelligence to the animals that were in the virtual oceanary. They were building the algorithm for the searches of the site of the trains in Portugal. They were doing also other projects in telemedicine, and really other very interesting stuff. And it's really connected with my inner needs in order to deep dive on this wonderful world about technology and humans and so on. And I went there, and there it was a new reality. Because I was really near the state of the art about technology projects in the European Union and so on, and working very near the developers and the project managers. It started for me to be very difficult to match the business needs and the methodology, because we are talking about really new things. At the time, 2000, at the year 2000, Jacob Nielsen, I think, started to write those first articles, I think in '98, if I'm not mistaken. And we are talking about, although of course the field of usability and user-centered design was well known more in the academic field, but it was very new to the business side, So explaining in a research company, I thought it will be easier, but not. So typically, this was considered as like oh, here comes again the poet saying that we have to hear the users, or my God, hey, come on, give me the icon, or give me the screens, or give me the logo, and in somehow I had the freedom to conquer my space, but politically and all the barriers about this new thing really put me down. All all the benefits that the methodology could bring to the table. Okay, and of course, time to delivery, isn't it? What? To understand the user needs and then to make changes. Are you crazy? No, we have to deliver this. Okay, shut up. So do stuff. Do beautiful things. And not.
But
And
there is something that it's something that happened years ago, but it's something that we still need to worry about when we start a project, to show the importance of do certain things.
Yeah.
That we still need to do that part of the work, that
oh yes.
try to talk the same language as business, so they can see the importance of certain activities that we are always trying to do, like talk to users, do usability tests, try to understand before do any ideas.
Yeah, and that ultimately drives to business success, right? And that's another of the things that I wanted to ask you, Natali and Filipe, and that's like, if you can explain to the ones at home the importance of UX design in driving to this business success that I was saying. How does it impact a company's bottom line in which aspects?
Yes. If I may continue, I can
Yes,
jump
sorry,
in.
I
No
interrupt you.
problem. No
Go ahead,
problem.
sorry.
No problem. I'm sorry taking too long in order to explain a little bit
Yeah.
what the chronological aspect of it. I was a little bit tired about the research projects for the European Union. That's a lot of them went to the, how can we call, gaveta?
To a
What is
draw.
the name? The draw?
Well,
Yes. So a lot of them, but it's not only that foundation that I work. It's a lot. It's in the entire Europe. So a lot of projects went to the gaveta. Okay. So and then I thought to myself, no, I feel the need to do something useful that that will have direct impact with real users, that will be used by real persons, and how can I have an impact on that, a good impact. And then there was a company that was born from that foundation. It was called Meticube, with a German colleague, and they invited me to go to that company. And typically, we started also to work specifically in the railway industry, okay, with the Comboios de Portugal, the other company that's called Refer, responsible for the infrastructure, and other companies related with the railway industry. And also, again, it was not easy to open the field in order to introduce the methodology, okay? But it gave me the space to go deeper a little bit on the business side. And when I was in that company, I started to move from the design field. So all my first dream in the beginning to work on UX design, it started to vanish. And I started to do like more commercial thing, being managing the client or going talk to the customer and understanding what the needs in order to write a proposal, and continues doing that, also building some sites and helping the team on the making some icons for the applications, web applications, so on. It was really not enough. And then after some years doing more the business side, I felt that no, I need to go to where it was my first dream at the beginning.
Okay.
And then I get out from that company. Everything was okay, but I said no, I need to fulfill my dream, and everybody understood. And at the time, I had the opportunity to know José Campos by accident, by serendipity, because I was having a conversations with Critical Software in order to explain that it could be very interesting to have a UX design department in the company, in order to benefit a lot of all the great projects that they were having. And they were saying, no, but we are already doing that with a new company that it's in Viseu. Oh yeah. What is the name? It's Tangible. Oh, let me talk to that company. And then the company was one person. It was José Campos. And then I was the first, and we had a conversation, and it was love at first sight, because all foundation was that we are going to be a company only dedicated to the user and to
You
understand.
spoke the same language.
Yes, and it was very, very interesting, because it was really the two great persons that really get together for the same purpose, for the same fun, for the same objective. And that was in 2006, I believe. And then officially in 2007. And I was the first employee of that company. And that's when we really started to connect the dots related with technical possibility, user needs, and business goals. So those three circles really started to smoothly they started to gain traction. And all the years that I've been there working with so many fantastic people, we had the chance to baby steps, try to choose the customers that we wanted to work, that wanted to apply the methodology. It was not only flowers, okay, but we had the purpose, and the purpose, it's a lot. You can go to Harvard Business Review, you can go to management books. If a company doesn't have a specific purpose, we are zombies,
And we get lost.
And having a meaningful purpose, it's the foundation for a company that can strive and do marvelous things. And that was really the great thing that really sparked the openness to go to the business side. Really big banks like Santander, Barclays, and so on. And And when we have a passion and when we really understand what we are doing, it's very easy to connect to the business side, because very easy we can explain that, well, here at that point, probably you are using 80% of the user that you could gain. Oh, yeah, I'm losing 80%. Explaining more, or if we can understand specifically where they could have more customers, and I can have more customers and I didn't know about it, please explain me, and that's very easy to explain that part, when we can observe people using the products that they have, or even the competition, and when a company wants to build a new one, it's very easy to go to the field, to understand how people use current systems, to understand what are the gaps or what are the pain points. Typically, the pain points at frontation are awesome places to start. And explain them that the business is not working specifically here, related with the persons involved. If we fix those things, your sales will increase, your customer interaction will increase, your reputation will increase. All things really can increase, and also other things can reduce, like customer support tickets. Yes, they can reduce, and it's very easy to understand, applying the methodology, what are the things that will help the business really grow.
Okay.
And then just I had the opportunity I was a little bit I wanted to change my way. It was really some months before the pandemic, that marvelous thing that happened in the world. I received an invitation to lead a team in Talkdesk, and that was one of the things that I really wanted, because on the consulting side, of UX, a lot of times we don't know if the guidelines related with the report that we did, that it makes sense for the team, for the Scrum team, for example.
What happens after the finish of
Yes,
our project?
what we recommend was possible, was feasible, because that implies to have a direct connection, and to be very, very near the Scrum teams and the product teams, to understand if we said is too topic, or if we said is achievable, or if we said it makes sense, but in another way. What are the alternatives in order to do that, in order to achieve those outcomes that are really important to improve the business continuously? And that connection, I was losing it, not losing it, but even not having. And I really wanted to jump to a side, on the side of the product, on the backstage, what is all the dynamics behind the product company and a big product company. And I started to have a glimpse on that on some project that we did in Tangible, but it was not enough for me. And I really wanted to go to a company where that was possible. And also, I had the opportunity to work in some project in Tangible for the call center industry, and I thought to myself, oh boy, there is so much work to do here. And also, it was a very interesting thing to go, and also related with AI. They were in Talkdesk. They are using AI in a lot of projects, and also it was a thing that I like to work on things that in somehow will have a big impact in the world. Let's see if the impact is good or bad, but it was a really fantastic opportunity to go there. And then now I am on Talkdesk. I started to manage a team of only specific products, but now I'm starting a position to manage all the UX research team cross products in Talkdesk, and it's been very challenging. Yes. Sorry for taking too long.
No, but it's okay, because you touched really cool points that will be some big points throughout these videocasts. And if I may, I will start with the questions right now, Filipe and Natali. And I touched this point before, and I wanted to ask you again, if you can tell us what's the importance of UX design in driving a business success? How can you like how do you, what are the challenges of implementing UX on a business that can make it go forward? But I think you've talked about it before when you said that, like, if you do the things the good way or the correct way, it is easy. But I wanted to see your perspective on this.
Do you want to start, Natali?
No.
Okay.
You're the special
I want
guest.
to hear your opinion.
Okay. Well, probably what I will say is not the most polite thing, but what I will recommend is, if you are working in the company that doesn't respect or doesn't believe, start to do it in a hidden way. Okay. Go where the users are, understand their pains, understand their needs, understand where the product is not fulfilling those needs and those pains, record if possible, and then show to the business those top 3 or top 5 moments that are really destroying the reputation of the company, or where are those points that are creating a lot of support tickets. Because a lot of times companies are receiving support tickets, but they don't understand what is on the head of the users when they are creating that. And we have to remember that for every customer support ticket that is created, 26 have remained silent. Okay.
Mhm.
And typically, if people are not satisfied with a specific product, and it doesn't matter if it's a B2B or B2C, people will leave. And when people leave, business will not go well because we depend on our customers. It doesn't matter if it's B2B or business to C. So start like an anonymous UX designer that is doing anonymous thing. And typically, by understanding those pain points, every team, and start with people that are working with you very near. Is it a developer that really understand and believe on that? Is it a PM that really understand and believe in it? Start with the people that believe and not with the skeptical one. Okay. And then typically this is like a good virus that spreads in the company. Okay. So in synthesizing, there is I think it's an old saying in English, isn't it? It's the don't ask, say apologize after, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's something
Yeah.
like this.
I don't know the correct sentence, but I very heard it before.
Because if we want to do the other way around, a lot of people in business, or even besides business, isn't it, the technical part of the product part, they never saw a simple usability test with a real person using the true protocol. Okay. They never saw, or they never saw an entire journey of how frustrating is an onboarding of a product, for example. They never saw, because, or they are guiding the user. No, don't touch that button because things will happen. So no, isn't it? So
It's there. The option is there. Go there. That button.
typically, yes. Typically, if people really observe humans using the systems, and when I say people, it's not only us, okay? Developers, product managers, salespersons, marketing persons. If we see and shut up, only observe people observing the things that we need to improve, we will know what we need to improve, because we are seeing all the fight that the users have to do. Okay. Of course, that part is also very difficult, isn't it? To bring and invite people. Hey, let's observe some people using our product. Are you nuts? We have a sprint deliver to finish, isn't it? So that part, it really needs to be started slowly.
Okay.
Yeah.
After that moment, it will happen a haha moment. People will understand. Wow, this is really cool. Yes, it is, isn't it? And that wow factor will start to spread like a virus, a good virus,
Yeah.
and it's like a good thing that will be contagious to a lot of people. And of course, if we have the support of the big CEO or the big CEOs that are part of the project, of course, things can go very smooth and much more with less constraints. Okay,
Okay.
but it has to be something on both sides, from up and from down. Because if from up there is a decision, oh, we have to do this, oh, those we have to apply this methodology, this makes sense. But if everyone that is working on the operational side don't believe, it's very difficult also.
Okay, okay, but yeah, as you were saying, these are the challenges that businesses need to overcome, right? And with that said, like, uh, because as you said, there's a rush of for doing things in most business, and because we live on a competitive market, and I wanted
Yes.
to ask you, like, because we live in a competitive market, and everyone needs to differentiate themselves from each other, how can UX design do that? How can UX UI help a business differentiate themselves from their competitors? And also, if you have some examples you can show us or you can tell us, it would be cool to add this to this.
Yes, I think two things are very important for doing that. It's courage and resilience. And courage, because it's not easy to go to outside, or even remotely. Of course, now we are doing remotely, to ask, for example, 3 users to use their bank account, to pay them, to explain what we are doing, and then to discover that to making a bank transfer, is really hard, and it doesn't take 1 minute. And then having the courage to go to the big director in the bank and explain, I'm sorry, your baby is ugly, and he's ugly here and here and here and here.
Yeah, and
So all the rationale is very important in order to explain that not only the pain points that are blocking the users from doing the things that it was supposed to do, but also even not respecting basic guidelines that are very known for more than 20, 30 years. Okay, as of today, it's crazy how in the software industry, with so many guidelines that exist, that people sometimes, a lot of times, think, I will not follow that guideline. I am Leonardo da Vinci, and I'm going to invent something awesome today. you know and typically those inventions goes very wrong. Okay,
yeah,
so typically those guidelines is like guidelines from the to build great buildings, or to respect safety guidelines in cars, or to there is a lot of guidelines in software industry, but are people respecting them? No, because whole time to market, and it's very awkward, isn't it? So we have to go time to market, but the quality disappears, isn't it? So what is the result? Well, 80% of software fails. Whoa, is there any correlation?
yeah,
Probably
how
yes.
surprising.
But yes, but this crazy demand about, oh yes, go to market, yes, yes, oh, but the onboarding is very difficult. Delivery, but and then the users, oh, we will fix it later. Fix it later is something that I never saw. Okay, it can happen, of course, but it will take huge amount of money when we could do it right away,
Yeah.
according to the guidelines. Okay, so be courageous, be resilient, because the the path is long,
Okay.
and the things change slowly. Okay, of course, it's possible to narrow the scope, isn't it? Really narrow the scope. That's why UX brief are so important, and to explain what is the problem that you are going to solve with this specific situation. These are simple conversations that we can have with all the business, isn't it, and technological partners on the first day of a project or even before to really understand what is the problem that we are going to solve with this. What is the expected outcome, and try to apply those smart goals, isn't it? What are those? What is the percentage of 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 specific thing that we want to achieve?
Okay.
If we can work starting on that, that's a good start, isn't it? To specifically understand as a team what is specifically the problem that we are going to solve with the work that we are going to do together. Or like Jared Spud is always saying, isn't it, is that if we do a great job, what is the good impact that we are going to provoke in people that are going to use this? If we do a great job, what is the fantastic experience that we are going to deliver to our users that will improve their lives?
Yeah.
If we think like this, every team can do anything. But typically, we are in a hurry of doing something that has to be delivered. So, what is the expected outcome of that, isn't it? When we
Yeah.
have to, when we have to do anything to deliver as fast as we can.
Because you don't build that support to things,
It's
right?
the North Star. It's the North Star for the entire team. When everything is clear, isn't it? And everything is working on understanding that no, we are doing this because this will help the user to retrieve money from the ATM machine. How? Oh, because they need to do because they are really in a painful situation because they don't have their wallet, you know.
Yeah.
And typically these are really North Stars that drive the team in order to work together on the same objective, on the same goal. That's why purpose is so important.
Yeah, but like you were saying before, and that for me, I'm not in the area and I don't know about this. Like you were saying that to build that North Star, and so we need to evaluate certain type of things. So and I wanted to ask you, Filipe and Natali, this like what are the key metrics or indicators or as you want to call them that measure that UX success? Like how can you measure? What are the indicators that can tell me like, yeah, this is going on a good way, this is not so good, and how do you track them and analyze them?
Yes. For example, applications, simple applications in the App Store, isn't it? There was a customer that I've had the opportunity to work with them with a lot of folks that they were really frustrated because a lot of users were downloading their app, but only 20% were continuing the onboarding process. So, what is the metric here? Isn't it?
The,
How can we improve the percentage of users that continue the onboarding?
yeah.
And for doing that, what is the best thing to do? To watch them now, for example. Or before that, we can go to the colleagues of support to understand, uh, do you receive questions related with the onboarding? Oh, a lot of them. Oh, yes. How much? Oh, typically is more than 50%. Oh, that's crazy. So tell me, typically, what are the questions that people are doing? Oh, they say that they don't want to go to the ATM machine to continue the process. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, they don't want to go to the ATM machine to continue the process. Why? Because they are at home and it's raining. Oh, okay, that's fantastic to know. So go to understand why the metric, isn't it, that was supposed to be at least 100%, or the percentage that the business understood that will be viable and sustainable, and it's not being achievable. And let's find out, and then go talking to support, talking to the colleagues on social media, viewing the complaints online, viewing the complaints on the app that
On the
that
App
are
Store.
really used,
Yeah.
ourselves using the product and start and making the onboard, and also observe, for example, typically 5 users. Typically, it's enough to understand what are the biggest pain points. But when I'm saying observing, it's to observe from end to end. Okay, from end to end. If they have to make a purchase, they have to make a purchase, because typically these are the biggest pain points always. But always do the entire flow. And then typically we find the problems. And then we discover, for example, what are the top 3 that are affected at the onboarding, for example. And if we fix those things, we as a team, because there are a lot of things, isn't it? Technical side, on the user flow side and the business side. If we fix those things, what are the odds to improve the metrics on the onboarding? Oh, if we solve those things, typically I think people will arrive at the main screen. That's important. Okay. And we implement those things, and we measure 1 month after, or even day after, and we start to see, oh, people are really engaged now. And after 3 months, we saw that people are not losing. We are not losing people on the onboarding process. That's a metric. Another metric, for example, is NPS. For example, when a customer or a user doesn't recommend our product, how many people are saying the same thing, for example?
Yeah.
What are the detractors saying? And what was the reason for doing that? And if we understand the top reasons, because time is limited, isn't it? We should focus on the top things, top 3, top 5 that typically are, and always working on it, isn't it? We solved the top 3, so what are the next top 3? Let's find out. That's continuous improvement. And typically we can understand what are the things that are annoying and making awful experience to the users, understand why they gave that NPS score, and try to upload it, isn't it? But to try to upload, we have to understand the reasons. And the same applies, for example, to use, other methods, like, for example, system usability scale, to understand if the product is useful for the user, if it's not, and there are other techniques also, like, for example, jobs to be done, that they try to understand what the persons are trying to do with the product, if it's fulfilling the product, the needs or not, if there are unmet needs. And then there are specific surveys that we can use in order to understand, after the interview process, how satisfied they are using the product, and versus how important it is for them to do that task. And typically it will go to specific quadrants. If you go to specific quadrant that goes to the opportunity, it seems that what is telling the data is that typically it's a great way to invest there, because the market is not fulfilling that need, and it's a way to improve people's life. But there are a lot. Of course, there are a lot of metrics also specifically on the usability side, isn't it? That typically, for example, to open a bank account, it only takes 1 day. Are you sure? Oh, yes, it's typically the norm here. Only 1 day. Okay, so let's do it. And it typically it's almost 30 days. 30. Oh. It's a good metric also, isn't it? Well, the company had the perception that it only takes 1 day to open a bank account, but normally people are taking 30 days. Or even, for example, other simple task, isn't it? Is that, for example, to make a transfer bank, and it's time on task, isn't it? How can we? People are taking more than 6 minutes to make a bank account. Are they satisfied? Is it enough time, or do they need more? Do they want to do that task in more time or less time? And for do that, we have to understand specifically what is the time that people have to invest in order to do any task, isn't it? Can we improve it? Where? Yeah. Specifically, isn't it? What are the things that we are asked that should not be asked? So there is a lot of metrics that we can
We have
use.
a lot of that, right?
Yes,
Questions.
because typically time, whenever there is time, for example, for products that are focused on efficiency or productivity, is always a good measure to start with, isn't it? Do we want that our products, our workers waste a lot of time to do those things? Yes, we want them to lose a lot of time to do that, or no? Do we want them to do the task as less as small as possible, and where? But small in a way that persons can do the task, isn't it? But that's of course, then there are other metrics, isn't it, about learnability and so on. But on the business side, typically productivity, efficiency, efficacy, isn't it? Because a lot of times, do people finish the task or not? Why are they abandon the product? Do we know the reasons? I'm sorry, I'm
No,
making more
no,
questions.
but it's totally insightful. Like those metrics are like, but let me just say something like, because the metrics are some kind of way fixed, but they can change because we live in a ever evolving market.
That's
And
true.
I wanted to change the topic a little bit and ask you this because, and this will be, I think, the last question of this video cast, and it will be about the future trends and developments, because like we've been talking to people on the UX area, and we wanted to talk about this with you also, Filipe. Like, what do you think are the future trends and developments that may occur in UX design that business should be aware of? Like, what should we need to pay attention in the future and to be prepared for it, and how can we be stronger in the future, taking advantage of like things that are happening right now, like with AI, for example? And so
Yes. According researchers from MIT and from top of the tops companies all over the world, AI is being really disruptive. And yes, companies are really crazy to understand how they can use that technology. But it's a big philosophical conversation. I don't have the knowledge to go deep on that. I'm sorry. But I think we have, in my humble perspective, we always have to look also into not as a technology that we should use immediately, but as a complementary thing to understand how we can help people do their work better. Okay. Yes, there are a lot of research studies that says that AI will substitute a lot of people, but also there will be other areas that AI will need a lot of people, like, for example, AI and healthcare, or AI and all things related with health. It seems that, according to research studies, is a really a big thing. But of course, there are other areas, isn't it? For example, AI can really help to uncover what are those repetitive tasks and very boring that people are doing and they really don't like. Can we use AI to help them, or even to substitute those tasks? Versus, in order for more complex stuff that requires from some process, that people have to do something on the computer, they have to do others in another division that doesn't require computer, and the AI doesn't know because the AI doesn't still have legs for now. But the thing is that if we look on the things that people have to do and don't like to do, are boring, are very human error, isn't it? And people don't like to do it. How can AI have space to do them?
okay.
It's a start, okay. But yes, that is a big conversation that I think it will require more time.
Yeah, and probably another videocast, like a part two with Filipe.
Another video cast without any doubts, Ron. Yes, yes.
Yeah, but yeah,
Natali, but what is your perspective on the new trends that?
Um, well, what I think is regarding AI or other technologies that probably will change the way we work. As you, Philip, were saying at the beginning, when you start to working, you to create logos, you use a rotring the pens. I use those ones as well, and now we have different ways to do logos, and all of us need to learn and adapt to these new ways of working. And for well, I know a little about the topic, and I'm still learning, but what I think is that as at the years ago we need to years ago everyone to create logos or similar things we use freehand. Now probably most of the designers don't know what freehand is. We use other tools, so we always AI, it's like a big change of the way we work,
yeah,
as the way we do our work in our process, how we can use it to deliver a better work for our clients, and in the things we build as well, like how would be the experience of human beings using AI, and we as designers need to learn with that as well, because now experience are just not a screen with buttons or a physical digital interface for us to use. We have uh, voice interactions, we have other things to be attention in the experience of the users, that we need to know how to build for that and how to build with that. So we need
yeah,
always to adapt and learn to deliver a better product or service to the ones that are going to use it. And I think with the AI is the same thing. It's in a bigger level, I think, because everyone is talking about it. But we need to adapt and learn on how to use it for good things, for
yeah.
the
Like walking along with it. Yeah.
yes, uh, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, right. But yeah, I think we are it for the video cast. Like I think this concludes it all, and thank you, Natalie and Philippe, for being here till the end, and for the ones at home who got to the end listening to this and got some really insightful tips from Philippe and Natalie. Thank you.
Yeah,
And yeah, see you on some next video cast we are planning to do. I think Natalie will be in some of them. And yeah, and if you want a part two with Philippe, because I think that you can have a lot from Philippe's insights. Tell us on the comments if you want a part two or not. And yeah, see you on the next one. Take care and thank you all. Bye bye.
thanks, bye bye.